Indigenous people have always had a great connection to the land. They see the land as an essential that is needed in everyday life. The essential of the land comes from the concept of Indigenous people are related to land. It sustains our spirits and bodies. It determines how our societies develop, operate based on available environment and natural resources. Our socialization and the governance flow from this intimate relationship. As a result of this intimate relationship that Indigenous people have created with the land, it shows the importance of the land. As a society, we should follow in Indigenous people's footsteps and also create this intimate relationship with the land. For the land does so much for us, and we need to give back to land. Regina's Flora Conservatory is following in the Indigenous people's footsteps by providing a space that is welcoming to everyone to come and appreciate different plants that are found in different parts of the world. Due to policies of colonization, assimilation, and attempted genocide, the connection between humans and the land has been lost over time. However, the Regina Flora Conservatory has created a space that brings people in so they can see how beautiful our land would be if we properly take care of the land. Seeing what can happen if we properly take care of the land can help rebuild those connections with the land. The Regina Flora Conservatory supports the concepts of all plants, from trees to flowers, beautify our living area, provide edible food, and offering environmental benefits ranging from oxygen we breathe to creating summer shade to our cool homes. And that by growing plants, we better appreciate our natural environment and the relationships between soil, water, and climate. Indigenous people support similar values to the Regina Flora Conservatory, for they see that the land is sacred trust from the Creator. The land is the giver of life like a mother. Both see the land as a provider and understand that without the land, we would be nowhere. The saying, the land could live without us and would probably do better without us, but we cannot live without the land, is very true, and Indigenous people, along with the Regina Flora Conservatory, understand this concept. This plant that we're looking at is part of the bulb family and it's called a daffodil. With the daffodil, the bulb, leaf, flower are used to make medicine. People use the daffodil for common cold, swelling, main airway in the lungs, wound healing, and joint pain. Similar to the use of the daffodil, Indigenous people in Canada have been using plants and other natural materials as medicine. Altogether, Indigenous people have identified over 400 different species of plants with medicine applications. Similar to the use of the daffodil, of how all parts of the flower are used, Indigenous people use all different parts of plants, roots, and underground parts, bark, leaves, buds, flowers, fruits, and sap or pitch, and have recognized medicine uses. There are many different modes of preparing and applying them. To Indigenous people, it is important that we take something from nature, that we do not waste any part of the living thing we took. So when the plant is taken for medicine, it is important that we use every part of the plant and not just one aspect of it. The use of the daffodil supports and use every part, because as stated before, that every part of the daffodil is used for one symptom or another.
As we admire and learn about the beautiful flora around us, it is important to learn about these flowers and plants from an Indigenous perspective and language. Indigenous peoples hold land and nature as a very important, almost sacred area of their culture. Touring the Floral Conservatory supports treaty understandings because it teaches us how to share the land with not only other people but nature itself, and how it is everyone's duty and responsibility to care for and protect this shared land. While we admire the nature surrounding us, let's stay mindful of treaties and how they are to last as long as the grass grows, the sun shines, and the rivers flow. The Nehewawak, also known as Cree people, whose unceded traditional lands we are standing on, have many concepts relating to this connection. The Cree words Wakotowin, being relatives on into this land, Wichitowin, living reciprocity, and Wetaskiwin, living together on this land, being one with this land. All of these teach us how important it is to have a good relationship with nature, as we are all connected together on this land. Wakotowin also reminds us that humans are not alone. We are all linked by the relationships between people and nature that allows us all to live and thrive. The idea of more than human kin is also relevant here, as we appreciate and learn about the flowers on this land. Indigenous worldviews teach us that kin, also known as family or relatives, include more than just other people. The land, animals, water, and sky are all connected to us. They give us life and take care of us, and we owe it to them to do the same. All life is sacred and all beings are equally important, be they living or non-living. Incorporating Indigenous languages relates to treaties because it is a key part of truth and reconciliation, which is a responsibility of every Canadian to work on to repair our damaged treaty relationship. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission's call to actions include many advocates for language revitalization and recognition in all areas of Canadian society, such as the education section stating protecting the right to Aboriginal languages, including the teaching of Aboriginal languages as credit courses. Particularly relevant to this treaty walk is the call that states Aboriginal languages are a fundamental and valued part of Canadian culture and society, and there is an urgency to preserve them, and Aboriginal language rights are reinforced by the treaties. Learning and understanding the meaning of Cree words and concepts connected to nature helps us repair our relationship with both the Indigenous peoples and the earth. Understanding Indigenous peoples' worldviews and values is the first step to creating a better relationship and honoring our treaty responsibilities. By becoming aware of the world around us and how it relates to treaties, we can all become better treaty people. For example, as we admire the flowers around us, let's learn the Cree language names for them. Flower is Wapakawene, and flower petal is Piaknipis, which means one little leaf. A red rose is Mihawkwene, and tiger lily is Yosatapakwa. We can name the beautiful colors around us too. For example, if you see a blue flower, you can say Sepikwa. The diverse leaves, bushes, and vegetation around us is Asiktakwa, meaning green. Looking above us through the windows, we can see Kisik, the sky. Looking towards the trees, we can admire its Watakwin and Weyaskask, aka its branches and bark.
As we are going through the Floral Conservatory, it is important to remember we are located on Treaty 4 territory, the original lands of the Cree, Ojibwe, Saulteaux, Dakota, Nakota, Lakota, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. In recognizing where we are and how we are located by many beautiful plants and flowers, we should always remember the term Wetaskiwin, living together on this land, being one with the land, as well as Manatisiwin, respect. As we show respect to each other, we must also show respect to our non-human relatives that live on this land with us. Take a moment and look around you and admire all of our non-human relatives that fill the very room you are standing in, and think about how we can always show them respect. It is also important to always remember our non-living relatives. By this, we don't break sticks off trees to use them, we don't pull flowers from the ground, and we don't throw garbage in our lakes and rivers. If we are needing anything from the earth and it has already broken off, we should still thank the earth, and if possible, we can leave an offering to that relative. We must remember we do not own this land, we are living together on this land, Wetaskiwin. If we destroy it, we can't guarantee it will be around for future generations to enjoy. Land is not a resource, rather she is a dearly beloved, revered relative who is in crisis right now. To help us relate the Floral Conservatory with our SAS curriculum, we are focusing on grade 7 science, where the outcome is relates key aspects of Indigenous knowledge to their understanding of ecosystems, Indigenous knowledge, traditional ecological knowledge, or Indigenous peoples' knowledge is based on the social, physical, and spiritual understanding which have informed the people's survival and contributed to their sense of being in the world. Indigenous knowledge can sometimes contradict scientific knowledge, but they can also be complementary to each other in learning more information about the world we live in. Indigenous science also helps us learn more knowledge about the world in a holistic way. Teaching about Indigenous knowledge in science helps introduce students to more concepts of Indigenous knowledge, which can help them have an increased knowledge of Aboriginal history, culture, and identity. It can also help us to remember they were on this land before and they are still on this land today, and we need to respect and honor that history because it brought us to where we are today. Learning about the plants, Indigenous knowledge, and how to properly take care of the earth, we are empowering each other to be able to develop their own connections with the land and giving them the tools to protect and fight for it. It's sort of like planting a flag, but you're planting a tree and giving back what Mother Nature had put there in the first place. Finally, take a moment of silence, then close your eyes. Take a deep breath and let the smells all around you take you away. Describe what you can smell all around you. Is there a flower or plant that maybe stands out against all the other ones or that you're drawn to? Think for a second, why do you believe that is the flower or plant you are drawn to? Have you smelt this scent before? Is it familiar or brand new to you? When you feel ready, you can open your eyes and explain how it feels to be here all around these wonderful plants. Do you feel more connected with Earth? Does it give you or make you feel a different type of energy around or within you? Today, we have brought you to the Regina Floral Conservatory, and we hope you are leaving with an open mind and a new outlook on the Earth and all of our non-human relatives around you.